Hello and welcome to Boomer Live once again, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are live on Boomer to talk about the Netherlands versus England game. Not to get mistaken, it's not a football game, but it's a cricket game, what we're talking about between the two nations. And England have gone on to defeat Netherlands as they do in football as well. They've gone on to repeat that in cricket. And it was a wonderful win where Ben Stokes scoring his first ever World Cup 100. And finally, England have managed to score more than 300 in this World Cup. So that's a big up on English national team. After the Bangladesh game, that there was a clear drought in not scoring any 300 plus scores, and finally they have managed to score and they have won a game. It was after a long period of gap as well. Ben Stokes leading the way, obviously, and to add to that, Chris Wokes playing a very valuable knock. You once again thought at one point the stage England were just going all downhill with that cluster of wickets which fell of Harry Brook, of Moeen Ali, of everybody, of Joe Root for that matter, who played a ridiculous shot to get out. It was a clear cut. It just looked like a football match where he had where it was a nutmeg ball which went through him, and he just was looking like an idiot over there. But nonetheless, we had to talk about it. We are very unfiltered as always in Boomer Live. Welcome, Sandeepani. What do you think about England team? How shit have they been in this World Cup?
I have no feelings for this England team. I think this is a game that they should have won. And I think even if they win, they shouldn't really celebrate too much because it's Netherlands. And finally, yeah, they scored well in excess of 300. But I was once again yawning throughout the game. These sort of games, inconsequential games, does not really
Yeah,
pique my interest. And also, I mean, there were not too many talking points as well.
yeah,
Netherlands being a good bowling side, they still
I like that.
tried their
I
best
like
to
that.
restrict England at one point,
Yeah,
but still, I mean, England did manage to power through, and
yeah,
you have to give some credit to David Malan as well. David Malan and Ben Stokes at one point it looked like they were going to cruise, and probably with Butler, Harry Brooks coming in, you could have probably expected something well in excess of 350, but then what England have been facing throughout this tournament, it
yeah.
really came to the party, and I mean they could manage 339. But then again, I think clinical performance from the bowling department, especially the spinners, I think Netherlands really helped their cause, playing some of those absurd sweep and reverse sweep shots. I think I really backed this Netherlands side from a bowling standpoint. I at least I used to back them from a bowling standpoint to make it to the Champions Trophy, but I think they are clearly out of it right now with the net run rate, inferior net run rate, and also the game against India still to go. So I think they are truly out of it unless you have Bangladesh and Sri Lanka really stumble against their oppositions,
Yeah,
Australia and New Zealand respectively. We'll know tomorrow for sure. But other than
yeah,
that, I don't see this Netherlands team coming back into the Champions Trophy. And also, I think you'll have to just blame their batting because the top order has been absolutely pathetic in a game where you're trying to chase 340. I would like to cover something from yesterday's game as well. I think we were talking about Afghanistan putting on their highest World Cup total, but I think they had this mentality. Even if it's a 340 or a 350 pitch, they have this mentality at the start of the game that they need a 270 or a 280. They aim for a 270, 280, 290. So you can't really expect them to go on and score more. That is their template of performing. It is a Pakistan sort of a batting template, apart from a Fakhar Zaman, that is to play at a strike rate of close to 70, 80 in the middle overs and go on to score 280, 290. But then again, same is the case with Netherlands as well. They were just trying to play out the 50 overs. Suddenly the spinners came. I don't know what hit them. They started to really attack. I think Mida
yeah.
Manuru and Scott Edwards tied. But all in all, it was just that sort of a game
I think we can
which
end the
nobody really
live
cared
stream.
about.
Sandeepan has just given the full broadcast of
Yeah,
three
yeah.
whole minutes. Should we just end
I
the
mean, I
live
just
stream
want to
right
end it
here?
quickly.
He just gave, this is the kind of guy who writes a 50 mark answer for a 5 marker. This is exactly the kind of guy.
And
This
still
is
gets
what
a
we're
5 out
talking.
of 5.
Yeah, and gets 5 out of 5, but wastes a lot of time writing a 50 mark answer for a 5 mark question. I asked you one question, and he gave a whole big answer.
I,
I
I, I
like
think
that.
you being unfiltered will not go well for you if you try to
Yeah,
target
but
me.
I'm just being very unfiltered today. I just asked how shit has England been, and he gave
Yeah,
a
I
full-on
think that is
answer on
well and
why
good if you
Netherlands have
target.
done.
I mean, some of our audiences, not me. I think I shouldn't be the target over there. Otherwise, you might not like it till the end of the
Maybe,
He's
live.
maybe,
already
maybe.
started
No,
with the
I'll
one
answer this
of the
question. There's a
current
question saying
episode.
suddenly Abel's eyesight got weak. He's wearing specs. No, I always wear specs, Mr. Couple. I just don't wear it on live streams. and at times I forget to wear specs. That's the whole point over here.
Because
Like,
Neville really
specs was on my
cares
face.
about his pull.
I forgot to remove it. Let's be honest. I forgot to remove my specs. I started off like that. I was just as bored as everybody today. And I'm watching that game of cricket. I didn't even know why I was watching it. I was just watching to watch Ben Stokes bat. Just
I think the
watched it for the
specs will
sake of
bring
it.
more pull towards the channel level. So I think you're doing a
Yeah,
great
I mean,
job.
I just liked it. I just love the commentary which was happening. I just love the commentary panel. So that was what was intriguing me. I was not watching the match. I was listening to the
Yeah.
commentary. When Ben Stokes started batting, I was like, okay, wow, I'll watch sometime. Something very interesting. And I didn't watch a single ball of Netherlands batting. I'm being very honest right here. Then I thought of watching the highlights before the live stream. I'm here and I'm here to talk about the game. That's how we work sometimes. But let's be honest, Darren, how much game did you watch today? Did you spend the whole 100 hours watching the full game?
I think I surely probably should not accept this on live, but
No, you should
I didn't watch
accept it.
any of
It's
it.
an unfiltered
I didn't
show.
watch any of it.
We're not here to do diplomatic answers. Let's
I've,
be honest. How
I've
much?
not watched a single ball. I think the only ball I saw was Joe Root getting bowled through his legs.
Yes.
That was pretty interesting because I had to watch it. It was beautiful. At a point in time, it just felt like he was playing a very good game of dodgeball. And for him to dodge that ball from that position he was in was absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant. I played some dodgeball in third standard, and I think it was a very good move. I mean, I would love to have him on my dodgeball team as well.
Yeah. But that was a
And I
good,
think
good
very good throw
nutmeg.
by Van Beek as well. So I
Yeah,
think it
very
all
good,
works
very
out.
good nutmeg. Yeah,
Yeah.
just through
I think
years.
one of those tricks on so one of those things in football, right, where you jump the ball so it goes to someone else and the defender
Uh-huh.
is chasing you. I think that's what Joe Root was trying today.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was incredible. He should also try a long jump, maybe, or a high jump. I think he's got the legs for it. But yeah, I mean that was the only ball I watched. Aside from that, I think I just kept following it on Crickbus
Yeah,
or
I just kept
ESPN.
following it here and there. I just love the
Yeah,
Ben Stokes hitting. I watched initially when David Malan was batting. I was like, okay. I just wanted to see England play because I wanted to see how they go against Pakistan. That was my only motive today to watch the match. How is this team good enough to play Pakistan? By chance, there is some washout tomorrow.
yeah,
Just wanted to see how that's called the opposition watch eye. There's a hawk eye today to see the opposition, how they are preparing because I wanted England to win so that once they go to the Pakistan game, they're filled with confidence. I don't think they've got any confidence from today's game. But let's take the questions, the big ones, right? I mean, Johnny Bairstow still not doing what he's supposed to do. Joe Root still doesn't justify his place. Do you reckon sometimes the selection of or dropping Liam Livingston or Moeen Ali on unfair basis and these guys like Johnny Bairstow and Joe Root are getting that extra bit of cushion for the selection just because they're big names? Do you reckon they're getting big cushion? Because we often don't talk about this kind of things in English cricket in the recent past, but it's quite evident at this point. Though they've been very trashy with their batting form, they just keep getting that extra chance. But whereas Liam Livingston, who did play a couple of good knocks here and there, gets dropped every time there's a selection call which has been made.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And
I
I
think
think
so
there are
too. Yeah. Go ahead,
yeah,
Sanjay.
yeah. I think there are separate roles for both Liam Livingston and Johnny Bairstow or a Joe Root, and I think England are mixing it quite a bit. First of all, there is no role clarity. The entire team does not know what people are expecting of them. I don't know what they are doing in the team meetings or stuff like that because they don't have. If you are dropping your assigned finisher in a game, and I mean getting in somebody like a Harry Brooks just to give him an opportunity, I don't know exactly what Harry Brooks' role is in the team, what Moeen Ali's role is in the team, especially with the bat, because it is not justified. You see, one day they are coming in at number three. Flexible batting order is good, but that flexibility works only when you have a set plan, when you have a game plan to, I mean, operate your, I mean, justify your selection in the team in the first place. And players like Johnny Bairstow I think, is one player who has got a very very long rope. I think injury concerns is one thing. He's getting injured. He's coming back, playing 5-6 games, failing in all of them, getting injured once again. So I think this has been going on for a long, long time. And Johnny Bairstow has only given good performances for England in the Test format in recent times, coming in at number 5 or number 6. That too, when he was dropped once, he came back and then he was performing well in the Test side. If you talk about the ODI side, I think on the white ball cricket, I don't see any substantial knock from Johnny Bairstow throughout. You can still argue for a Joe Root. He started off the tournament in a great fashion. He scored some
Oh,
870s and 80s in the first two games that he played, and then completely wandered off because I think he's just not in form. And I think that does not justify you. dropping somebody. And I think they can't drop a player of Joe Root's caliber. They could have dropped if they had the a certain plan to go about things, a game plan to operate, role specification for the batters, something which Ian Morgan and his side had, something which Josh Butler, the selection committee, and this England group does not have. They are just going by the names. Because if you think about Ian Morgan's side, you had a period where Joe Root was dropped from T20 and ODIs. He was just focusing on Test. And you had players like David Malan really got that longer stint because Joe Root was absent from England cricket. And I think that should be the way forward. I think Joe Root uh, is is a terrific player. He's trying to approach his game in a way that suits the baseball cricket. But I think sometimes that can really lead to your downfall. And right now it is happening.
Absolutely. I agree with you to an extent where the whole conundrum or the dilemma has been. But Jaren, you reckon at times it's time to look beyond? I know they don't have a lot of options right now, but post this World Cup, you will see a complete transition in the white ball format, or do you expect lads like Stokes to continue playing at any stage at all till the 2025 Champions Trophy?
No, I think, to be very frank, even this time around, I never really understood why they are, pushing for a Stokes, because, Stokes basically in this World Cup was going to be a left-handed batter, and he was not even playing for one half of the World Cup. So just felt like you're calling him on, for the heroics that he's done so far along, but not really because of what he was doing in the past. I think he played his first one-day game after 2019 in the World Cup, if I'm not wrong. So that's how long it had been since he had played a one-day match, and he retired almost effectively. So very surprised that he did that. I mean, they did that, and I think those kind of interruptions as well, right? I can still understand a Moeen Ali coming in because you needed a spinner who can, I mean, a batter who can ball a little bit of off spin. He was also probably a best spinner out there in white ball cricket at this point in time. In coming out of England, who knows the conditions in India, knows how to get wickets in India, and I think him not doing well this World Cup has really hurt them a lot. But overall, if you see, right, I think you will see a lot more transition. I think Moeen Ali himself did say it in the press conference that you will see a lot more of the older guys getting replaced or switched over. So I think that is coming, and that is due. That is definitely due in time.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. But let's just say about England team now jumping to number 7 in the ranking. I mean, in the table right now, that's going to give them a sigh of relief, right? Now that they've won this game by such a big margin, all what they have to do is to win the next game, or maybe hope they don't lose the next game by big margin to seal that Champions Trophy spot. Now, until the game today, you just felt like this is possibly the worst way to end up. The Champions Trophy spot still seems a long way away, but today's win just gave them that big jump that they've gone to number 7, and maybe another win could put them in number 5, number 6 as well. So I think number 6 at max. So that's not a bad way to end the World Cup from where they were. They'll at least take that heart, saying that we were just maybe 3 games away or a couple of games away from possibly even making a semi-final spot.
I think the best they can do is finish seventh because I think all the other teams have got 4 wins out of 8. The top 16 that is, and England can only win 3 games at the most. And I think they are more likely than the other 3 teams because Sri Lanka are going to face New Zealand tomorrow, which is going to be a tough challenge for them. Bangladesh are facing Australia, which is going to be a huge upset. That too without Shakib Al Hasan. It is going to be a huge upset if Bangladesh come out on top. And Netherlands are playing India, which is once again going to be a huge upset if Netherlands come out to be on the top. So I think England are now really safely placed. Even if they lose the game, they have a superior net run rate. They are anyway going through, unless you have a surprise from Netherlands or Bangladesh, or even a Sri Lanka as well. Having said that, I still feel this game will give them some sort of confidence, and I think it was a very bad game for Netherlands' point of view. I think when the opposition scored 339, what they should have done is they should have targeted a 250 or a 260 and look to get 260, 270, or at least look to play out the 50 overs because this has done them a whole lot of bad in terms of the net run rate. Because Sri Lanka can lose tomorrow. Bangladesh are more likely than not they lose against Australia. If Netherlands also will lose against India, if they could have reduced the margin of their losses, you never know, they would have ended at the top of say Bangladesh and Netherlands, and still Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and still qualified for the
Yeah.
Champions Trophy. So I think today's loss will absolutely demotivate them, and I don't see them really putting up a fight for the Champions Trophy. Talking about England's campaign, I think finishing 7th, being the defending champions, when everybody, almost all the predictors, everybody touted them to be in their top 4, is a finish that they will take with a
Yeah.
huge pinch, and I think they should go back and change
There's some
the system.
history in
Yeah,
this World Cup already, Sanjeevani. I think that I
yeah,
wanted the first ever ICC tournament where every team have won 2 games, at least 2 games. So
yeah.
it's a historic moment in World Cup. Yesterday, few people had come to our stream saying that's the most boring World Cup. I mean, last night itself, the answer for that was given, but
Yeah.
I think with more of these days, it's just getting more problem. We'll take some questions. There are a lot of questions there. So, Kapil, as always, has asked us who's going to be the 4th team to face India. I think we'll know that tomorrow. We just have to wait for some more time. These
Kapil, I'll
days,
tell you, I think Afghanistan is going to be the 4th team finishing on.
okay,
Finishing
okay,
on 4th.
okay. Wait a moment. Wait a minute. Hang on.
A washout tomorrow. I'll tell you the probability. A washout tomorrow.
No,
Pakistan
it's not a
losing against
washout tomorrow. It's not
England.
a washout tomorrow. I can guarantee you.
Well, then Sri Lanka
With report
really
from
pushing
Bangalore,
above their weight and
with one
beating
of the
New
most
Zealand.
trustable weather report from Bangalore, it's not a washout tomorrow. It's not a washout. It's gonna be rain. Rain is gonna be there, but no washout. I can guarantee you that.
You can't have trust and Bangalore weather in the same sentence.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that statement.
But it's Bangalore weather, so whatever you see on the app should not be trusted either. So that's the way to go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So take my call for that. That's why Kiwis winning tomorrow
That's
is what
what I
John
say.
Walker says.
You're telling me someone with a barometer is not able to predict rain, and you sitting in Kochi, sitting in Kerala, different state, is going to
I'm
predict
just
Bangalore
sitting
weather.
there, but I have my sources working on this. You know, you know what I mean.
Source, trust me,
When
bro.
every time I tell you there's rain in Bangalore, there is rain. When there is no
That's
rain,
true. I mean,
then you know
having
that.
personal
Then you
experience,
know me
yeah,
well.
personal experience, I'll
Then
agree.
yeah,
There are many times that I've questioned Abel. Many
yeah,
times I ask him that it's going to rain today, and Abel somehow predicts it. I think he's got a
yeah.
connection with the clouds in Bangalore.
I'm the best weatherman in Bangalore.
Yeah.
I'm telling there's a game tomorrow. Just take my word and go to watch the match.
So I
So
think
no
then
washout.
if there is a game tomorrow, then you have to have Sri Lanka winning, Pakistan losing to England, and then Afghanistan choking
So I don't. I'm
South
just saying there's a
Africa.
game tomorrow. I'm not saying who's gonna win or lose. I'm just saying there's a game
No, I'm
tomorrow.
just giving
Good
you the
morning, guys.
possibilities of Afghanistan qualifying to the semi-finals.
It's high as much as Pakistan can win, go into the semi-finals as well. So as much as that, I can't wait for the game later tonight. Okay, so John Walker is another time zone, is what I'm hoping. I think you are from New Zealand. That's why. Good morning, guys. He also says Kiwis are winning. I'm just having you all in my ears during my morning walks. So I'm assuming you're in New Zealand. We smoked that Amsterdam 420 is what Rob Key says. Now that is as classic as
Good to see
Rob
Rob Key
Key.
back.
Yeah,
And I
somebody
think that
also
is a
wanna-
typical Robke statement.
No, I'll be very frank, guys. I think today, this World Cup, England not performing has also got to do with the fact that Rob Key has not come on our stream. I think that really helped them last World Cup. He's been the key player. Him not coming on our stream for a while has also meant, yeah, and his
Rob
prediction
Key
went
is
wrong
everybody's
against Sri Lanka
key.
as well. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think
been Rob
Rocky
Key.
predicted that India winning the World Cup, if you guys remember.
Oh yeah, but he's been a little off his game.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
But to be very honest, if you look, if Rocky predicts one thing, it happens. He can
Moving on.
predict
yeah,
one
moving
Rocky
thing.
is a legend.
If you remember, during the Football World Cup, he did say that Argentina are winning the World Cup. So
Yeah, yeah.
Rockie's track record has been like 100%. There it is. There
No,
it
I think
is.
not 100. Just once he failed when he.
So I
when he
think
predicted
Robke will be the best
England
person to answer Kapil's question
No,
of who is
he
going to be the
predicts
fourth
the
team to
bigger
qualify for the
passes.
semi-finals.
He doesn't
Okay.
care about the small results here and there. He's saying who's gonna win it. That's it. Take this word. जो भी
Yeah.
है ठीक है यार.
Take
Krishna
it
to
in.
play against Netherlands and rest Bumrah. Yeah, there is a report that Prasid Krishna will make his World Cup debut, and I don't know who the rest who's going.
I think they should rest
I'm
both
also
Bumrah,
hearing
Shami.
that there will not be one more pacer as well. So I think Siraj and Bumrah will be rested, and then you're gonna have
Yeah.
Shardul and Krishna and Ashwin, is what I'm assuming. And in that case, it's okay, man. I mean, we're just playing that for the sake. It's a scheduled match. Trust
Yeah.
me, we just don't want to play that. We just want to go straight in the semifinals right now. It's just that we are having a halt in Bangalore for a practice day, and Netherlands is not a bad practice session. Stat pad, go home, get some century. Virat, if you can get your 50th, stat pad, bro, stat pad. You deserve that stat pad. But on that note, let's just talk about some Pakistan journalists having to lose their job. Today, the ICC rankings have been officially updated, and the whole last 951 days, how they survived on boasting and saying there has been one number one batter in the world, and nobody comes close to it, has officially been dethroned by the prince himself, Shubman Gill, and the world number one bowler has been dethroned by our Magic Mia. That is Mia
And
Magic.
not just dethroned. I think the world number one bowler has moved down to 4 places to number 5 right
and
now.
Kuldeep Yadav is in top 4 as well. So
Yeah.
good news for us. What do you think, Jared? Big loss, unemployment scenes there. No more tweets on that.
Yeah, I think a lot of tweets in the draft, as they say it, are out to be deleted now. I think you forgot a very.
No, I think another tweet will start right now. A tweet that says ICC is rigged.
Yeah.
No, I mean, well paid is I suppose what they'll say. Because
it's
their
already
payment
out. It's
ran
already out. It's already
after
out.
940. I mean,
It's
after
already out,
951 days.
If you
But
guys
yeah,
are
I mean,
already thinking about it, that tweet is already out.
Okay.
See, I don't
I
understand
think
the hype.
BCCI might as well just disclose the amount that they paid. I think that will be more than Pakistan's GDP.
No, I think if you look at the top 5 players, right, who have survived world number 1, Babar Azam is only the 5th, and I think he's 951 days, if I'm not wrong.
Vivian Richards is
Could
the
be wrong
highest.
on that. Vivian Richards is the highest, 1700 days. Virat Kohli is 3rd. Dean Jones is
ABD
second in
Villiers
it.
is second.
So, no, Dean Jones is second.
Yeah.
Dean
ABD
Jones
had
is
it for like 3-4 years. I remember there was this period from
Yeah.
2012 to 16 when ABD Villiers could never be dethroned. Then Virat Kohli had it for the next 1,000 odd days. Then Babar Azam took it now. So that's how it has been. MS Dhoni was the before the fastest to get to number one innings, number one in the ranking for 41 innings. Shubman Gill has surpassed MS Dhoni, but MS Dhoni when he did in 2004-5, it was just incredible. This guy just coming in and doing it all of a sudden. But ranking doesn't matter, journalists. I mean, for them, ranking matters when it matters. When it doesn't matter is when they are getting dethroned. So he is the same journalist who tweeted, "It's a dream for Indians to be a number one ranking in both the formats, in the same
No, I
bowling
think
and batting."
you're being a little too harsh on the Pakistani journalists. There's also one Sri Lankan journalist who tweeted every day. He woke up in the morning before brushing his teeth, tweeted. He updated those. I swear to God.
He's the same guy
but yeah,
from Team 36, right? His team has.
Oh yeah,
lost-
he's also the one who has got 36 everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think
he wears
he is
36.
going to take over Sri Lanka's mantle really soon because the Sri Lanka board fired most of their.
No, I think they got
selection committee and
reinstated.
everything.
They got reinstated by the Supreme Court. There's a whole another drama that's happening.
Yeah, there's a whole
in
other
Sri Lanka
drama
right
that's
now.
happening.
But I
because
think
it's
in the
controlled
long
as
run, I
well.
think Daniel Alexander is the way to go for Sri Lankan board. I think
Oh,
he
no,
should be the
I
next
don't
coach
want
for
to
Sri
his
Lanka.
name, but you took his
No,
name
I
already.
wanted to call him out. I think you need to call people like them out.
I mean, this guy, I didn't want to give him any popularity whatsoever, but you took his name.
I mean, he's more popular than us. We can obviously give him.
Yeah, he is.
some
He is.
popularity.
Obviously, when he tweets like that, a whole country will lick his boots
Yeah.
for sure. That's for sure.
And
they're
another
the
whole
only
country
ones
will
who
really
won't
hate him
comment
as
on it.
well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
his own country hates him is another thing. So he only thrives on another country and the money which comes. So I'll make a whole video on
Pakistan
that.
visa is soon going to come.
Yeah, I mean, today's live as England's match has been so boring that we're sitting here and talking about journalists, man. That's how we have stooped low to. I mean, we had to bring this, just to make it more entertaining and masaladar or whatever you want to talk. We are going to make like an ex coffee with Karan.
No, I think if our previous lives were, dosha, this is a masala dosha. That's our idea today.
Yeah. I agree. That's Jaren's humor right there. So
Yeah. Not a good one. Yeah. Hey, come on, it was better than
England. Very
in
interesting
most
question.
matches.
Sandipani is the only guy who's hoping that India plays in Kolkata. Nobody wants India to play in Kolkata.
Nobody. I'm not hoping India plays in Kolkata. I'm hoping India plays. I mean, either of the two. I mean, even if India plays in Kolkata or at Wankhede.
Not just you. Actually, one of my friend today texted me saying that he's postponing his tickets, hoping that Pakistan wins and New Zealand loses tomorrow so that he can watch that game. So
No,
that's
no.
how.
I don't have any such desire. I'm happy as long as India goes on to lift the title.
Even Saurav Ganguly himself wants, India, Pakistan, and Kolkata.
We don't care about what Saurav Ganguly wants. We are not here to see what Saurav Ganguly wants. We
Are
are
you
here to see
serious?
what
Are you
1.4 billion
serious,
people
bro?
wants, and that is for India to lift an ICC trophy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. for me, it doesn't matter who the opposition is. We have to just go out there and win it. That's it. At the end of the day, you win it. We have a practice game on 12th. Then we play on 15th. I'm being very honest. We're not playing on 16th. We're playing on 15th and then on 19th. I told you we'll be playing on the next 4 Sundays. 2 more Sundays to
I
go,
think
guys.
more or less we are going to get either a 2011 semi-final replay or a 2019 semi-final replay. I mean, not the
Our
result.
2019,
Not the
there's
result.
some
But
unfinished
yeah.
business, my boy. There's some serious unfinished business. Can we
Yeah.
go back? Can we skip to the
2019.
good days?
2019. Yeah.
yes.
But I
And,
think
uh,
honestly, I think New
2000,
Zealand
finally-
are under some pressure as well, because 4 loss on the trot is something
Yeah.
that it is very difficult to cope up against. And we saw it's not that Sri Lanka can't come up and put on a surprise.
But
because
trust me, Sandeep, if one team will not be actually ruffled by this kind of losses, New Zealand. Any other team, you can say they lose confidence, but New Zealand is one team we've often seen throughout the years that they
No, I
lose
think-
these games, but they'll
But I
pick
think
it up.
Chinnaswamy has been that ground that has not really worked for them. They have scored 382, lost. They scored 400, lost. So I
He's got
think they will
382
be.
here.
No, I'm not just saying Chinnaswamy. I think they scored 400 in Chinnaswamy and lost. And they
Yeah.
also scored 382 against Australia and lost. When was the last time you saw a team scored in excess of 380 in 2 games and having lost both? I mean,
But
the
if you
bowling.
look, the biggest concern for them has been their bowling. Nothing else
Yeah.
at this point.
And
The
I
batting
think
has done good.
the only thing going
No,
for
I
Sri
think-
Lanka right now is the batting.
No, I mean, if you have to talk about New Zealand as well, I think they've faced a lot of injuries. I mean, their best bowler was Matt Henry this World Cup, and he's not playing with them anymore. I think so. In that sense, the injuries have really hurt them. They've piled on a set of injuries. I think Mark Chapman is still injured, if I'm not wrong. I think he had picked up an injury in the one game that he played.
Yeah.
Jimmy Neesham as well. I'm not sure if he's fit yet. So there has been a truckload of injuries for these lads, and the issue with them is also these are not injuries that rule you out of the World Cup, right? So you don't know if you have to, if they should go back home and ask for a replacement, or they shouldn't, and that's been a major concern for them. I think they've played with one player less in their squad every World Cup match. One player less.
Last game they did not have a
not
fifth
fit.
bowling option. It was Glenn
Yes.
Phillips who had to do the
Yeah.
fifth bowler's job. I
And
think
that
that's
is
too much
that
of
is
a
the
risk.
problem with both the teams that are vying for that 4th spot. Because even if you talk about Pakistan, the only bright spot has been Fakhar Zaman in the last 2 games. Other than that, if you talk, the bowling is really suffering.
Yeah.
The batters are not
But
really
I
coming
think
to the party.
the English bowling on the other end will really test the Pakistani batters, to be very honest, because that's not a bad bowling attack which we're talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
English batters have been the disappointment in this World Cup, but English bowling has been
I think
really good. If you look at all
Today
the
will
games.
give them the confidence they need. I think that was one thing that England. I felt Pakistan wouldn't have wanted, for them to play in Ireland. I mean, for them to play Netherlands and then play Pakistan. Pakistan would have preferred the old battered, less confident England. But
Yeah,
now
yeah,
that
I
it has come, it doesn't matter against who it is. When you start getting bat to ball and you start scoring 339, I think England will feel like themselves again.
Yeah,
So that
they
will
will
make
really get the confidence. They'll get
Yeah.
that confidence back, and that's not a good thing to do. And if England bat first in Eden Gardens, and if it's a pitch like what you saw in India, South Africa, then Pakistan will be in serious
And I think if
trouble
the spinners are in form, I think the spin duo of Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid.
Adil Rashid has a phenomenal record against Pakistan,
Exactly.
and he's going to have the card up his sleeve to throw it up.
So I
And
think
not
once
just
again the pressure is going to be on Fakhar Zaman, because that is one player that Pakistan will really bank on to give them a start, that something of Rohit Sharma. What
But let's be
Rohit
honest,
Sharma did
let's
against
not
South
talk
Africa.
about that game already.
Yeah.
It all
Yeah.
depends on tomorrow's game, because if New Zealand win by a big margin, that's 100 in excess runs, or for the matter, anything really quick while chasing it down, then this game is done and dusted.
Yeah, but you
before
don't
the
know.
game
I
even
mean,
started.
Pakistan with Kudrat Ka Nizam can win by 250 runs. They can pick
Yeah,
up 10
man.
wickets for 0.
That's what I said
Yeah.
yesterday as well. I think someone called me high when I said that, but for some reason, it just seems like, it seems to work out for them. I have no idea what is it. And I
See,
think
it'll work out maybe till a certain
how
point.
many
Let's all
times?
agree to that. It'll all
Yeah.
work out to a certain point. It doesn't do it.
No,
in
no, you
knockout.
can't win a World Cup with so many loopholes. I
Yeah,
think
you can't
either
do
a
that.
Pakistan or a New Zealand, I think both the
See,
teams
you
are
can
not in the best.
sneak into the knockouts. We've seen that over the years, even in football, everywhere. You sneak into the knockouts, you get a win here or there. But when it comes to the big games, right, when you're against a strong opposition, you will be exposed badly. And that day, you're going to
Yeah.
look like a chicken out of the hatch. You have no idea what to do. You'll be hoping for that Kudrat Ka Nizam to happen. Weather won't help you. Results won't help you. Duckworth Lewis won't help you. And Kudrat himself won't help you. So
So
that's what we're talking
SS98 is basically saying that hope India plays anyone but Australia in the finals, having assumed that India makes it to the finals, I think then you are supporting South Africa in the South Africa versus Australia game.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, I think the scariest part is Australia has never lost a final in their
Final
history
to
of
Australia.
cricketing
Yeah,
nation
Australia has never lost a final.
in
No,
any
Australia lost
format.
a final in 1975. 1979, they lost the final.
Yeah,
It was West Indies.
1979.
79, 79.
79, they lost the finals. But they never lost a semi final to South Africa. That's one factor. So on
I
7
think
in
South
2000.
Africa's never won a semi-final label.
South
That's
Africa has
the
never won a semi-final. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm putting it the other way around, guys. Why do you want to
1999,
go that way?
2007, they faced Australia in the semi-finals, and 1999 was probably one of the
But if you look at the time
greatest.
when South Africa started derail. I think that 83 all
1979
out.
or
Yeah,
1975.
1996 as well. Correct. Against Sri Lanka. It was a World Cup final in, I think it was
Yeah,
in
I think that's the last semi-final that they've lost.
they lost. So it's
After
not
that,
like
they've
they are
not
an
won.
unbeatable team, but then they had this crazy run from there on 99, 3 and 7. So I mean that's what it is. Ultimately, if you have to talk about Australian team, if you are facing them in knockouts, it's always a tough thing. You have to play out of your
I just
skin.
hope that I wish Australia qualifies for the finals because they have been the second best team after
Even
India.
if you talk about 1975, 1979 for that matter, it was an Australian team who hadn't tasted success. But if you talk about 1960,
1979 wasn't it England versus West Indies in the final?
Then 1975. Either way, I think 1975 was
No,
Australia
1979
versus
was
West
the
Indies.
Because if I'm not wrong, 1979 final is the one where you had those
yeah, it was
runouts
75, it
by
was 75, it was 75, it was 75.
yeah.
Correct. You're right. I mean, sorry guys. I mean, we don't want to make such mistakes. But it was a very close final, if you remember. I
Yeah.
remember one of those. It was one of those finals where Australia lost by a very close margin. I don't remember what exactly this runs where it was
You're not
17 or
supposed to
15.
remember, Abel. You are not born back then.
I mean, I remember looking at the scorecards. I remember it was like 15 or 16 runs. It was not a big one. 75 or 79, whatever it is. So
Also,
that was
60
a,
over
Yeah,
format. So I
17
think
runs is what they won by. But I think what was
Yeah, correct.
interesting in that one was that 10th wicket. Was it the 10th wicket or the 9th wicket? I think 9th wicket partnership
Yeah, 10th
between
wicket, 10th wicket.
the last. No, it was the 9th
Last
wicket. Yeah,
wicket.
it was Bernard, Julian, and
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
was
looking
like
at the
10th
scorecard
wicket
right now.
partnership between Jeff Thompson and Dennis Lilly, right?
Yeah. That's the one. That's almost brought them close. I think there
Yeah.
were two partnerships. There was one which was in the 9th wicket partnership between for the West Indies team, which got them some respectable target. And then Dennis Lilly and Jeff Thompson, like you mentioned, they got together after 233 and almost brought them close. By 17 runs, they ended up losing it.
क्या
But yeah, those two
हाल है
really
यार
famous.
हमारा. Like we are sitting here and talking about 1975 final year. Where
Yeah.
in 2023 a game just got over. We're analyzing that game. Oh, what a partnership. But yeah, 96 final I remember from watching in the commentary and highlights as well. Aravinda De Silva. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the biggest myth in cricket that Kalu Vitarna had a very good World Cup. He had a 74-run World Cup. And we hail him for what he has done. It's the biggest myth. It was Aravinda De Silva who had possibly one of the greatest World Cups. It was like a Rohit Sharma score. Virat Kohli like World Cup of this year.
Yuvraj Singh
But-
is because he was doing the job with the ball as well.
And not just that, Sri Lanka also had their luck. A lot of games where
Yeah.
they had a walkover because of their political reasons in Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they had a lot of walkover wins. They came to India, defeated India, then they played semi-final, etc.
Arjuna Ranatunga was
World
the
Cup
main
also,
winner.
things did go their way. But come the final, they stepped up and big win. It was a 7-wicket win in Lahore, if I remember rightly. It was in Lahore or Karachi? Where was the final?
It was Lahore.
Karachi?
Lahore,
wherever.
yeah.
But,
Gaddafi Stadium,
it was
Lahore,
Aravinda
Lahore.
De Silva's greatest 100. They call it in a final, and they all wanted to repeat in 2011. Mahela scored 100, but it just did
Yeah.
not. So, yeah, I mean, if you talk about Australia losing the finals, you really have to play out of your skin to defeat them, and it's not
And
easy.
from then on,
2003 was a
unfortunately,
clear-
Mahila holds that
Yes, you're on mute.
unfortunate record of being the only
You're on
centurion
mute.
to lose in a finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is what we're talking about. Ultimately, I think what it comes down to is also if India are playing Australia in the final for that matter, how will India take it? Are India going to go into that game with a lot
They are
of
going to
pressure?
take it as any other game, and they are going to
They
I
should
mean, come
as
out
well.
and yeah.
Yeah, I think any team who tries to feel that pressure, obviously, I think India will be slightly more under pressure than expectations. But I think that's the thing about this team, right? I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed. I think this team has mastered not allowing those expectations and those factors really come into place. Because if you see any interview, And that's not for me to say that they're going to win the World Cup, but I'm just appreciating the fact that, previous teams you saw a little bit of baggage there. But I think with this team, you feel like they're just enjoying themselves out there. And there seems to be a very good environment. Right now, I think there are two teams that I feel are having the best environment in the dressing room is Australia and India. And that's probably the reason why I feel
Even
they
in the
might
last game, you saw
finally
that
ranking
Marcus
for the
Stoinis
World
and the entire team was really
Yeah.
enjoying Maxwell out there, even though he was
You
Yeah,
saw,
I think- I think two teams who are playing with a lot of burden-free cricket at this point
Yeah.
is India and Australia. I mean,
Absolutely.
Australia, they were so chill, to be very honest. That's what India is also having. India very chill, and this is the reason why both the teams can be dangerous on their day. It could be a very close final as well. It could never be a one-sided one. It could go down the wire. You saw it in the first match when India played Australia. It was the only game where we all felt like India was tested, and we all sat here and also accepted the fact that now India could be unstoppable because that they got out of the jail. They know that.
Yeah, but Abel, I have a
we
question
hold
for you.
that.
You were a fast bowler back then. What are your thoughts on yesterday Marnus Labuschagn's act of pulling out when the ball was about to be delivered for 4 to 5 times, continuously trying to abrupt the rhythm?
Trust me, it's annoying as F because
I would have thrown the ball at
I would have
Marnus
thrown the ball.
Labuschagn's face.
To be
I would
honest,
have
at that
cared
point, I
about
would
the
have
field.
asked him,
Fine.
bro, you want to play or not? What on earth are you even looking at? I mean, trust me, the worst thing is you're running in and you're pulling out in the last moment. Firstly, you can get injured. Secondly, you're wasting a lot of energy. You have to run in for another 2 to 3 times in a row. 9 times you're running in.
And also, you are
Trust
in
me, I
some
would have
sort
thrown
of
the ball.
rhythm or mindset where you know where you
Yeah.
want to pitch the ball, or you have a certain plan in your mind. So I think that was absolutely absurd, and I think it went
The law of
unnoticed
average is just yet to
by quite
come.
a lot.
Hope that to trust me, man, Tejo. I mean, let me tell you one thing. This law of average thing is such a negative word in itself. If you look at some of the
I
best
mean, bro, it comes
sporting
in. I'll just say you, it comes in when you have just 1 or 2 players performing for you. That player might have a bad day, but
Yeah.
for this Indian team, you have seen that if you see the wickets column, or say even the runs column, you have a Virat Kohli who is scoring extremely well, scoring at a good rate. You have a Rohit Sharma who is doing exceedingly well. Then you have other players like KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer, who are supporting well as well. A 290-run season is not bad. Shreyas Iyer has had a
Yeah.
season better than Babar Azam.
No, I think I'll give you a very good example for that, Sandipani. Before this match, there was only one batter in England who had scored more than 300 runs. And, 200 runs. So,
Yeah.
I think having 4 batters, if I'm not wrong, Shreyas Iyer has also
Yeah.
scored more than 200.
Yeah.
Shreyas Iyer
just-
has scored
that
296.
is-
He has
I mean,
scored
just
more than
look at,
Babar.
Jen, just simple as that. Just look at 2019 campaign and this. Let's just compare simply on that basis.
Yeah.
2019, you had a Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma scoring bulk of runs. Then KL Rahul chipping in. 3 people scored a lot of runs. Fair enough. You did not have a number 4 scoring runs. MS Dhoni
Yeah.
never scored a lot of runs. Hardik Pandya did not score
Absolutely,
runs.
yeah.
So you know on a bad day that law of average is going to catch up. But if you
No, I
look,
think-
go back to the first game of this World Cup, right? You knew you had a bad day and you got out of it. That was the day which we are talking about. It's not like India did not have bad moments. India did have bad moments in this World Cup.
And then
India
New Zealand
got
game
out
as
of it more
well.
often than-
I think by the time New Zealand game came, obviously we were a lot more confident. But even the New Zealand game, right? We kept losing wickets. Our top order didn't really succeed. I think they got off to starts, but they never
I
capitalized.
mean, there was no substantial partnership
then we
apart
escaped.
from the Jadeja and Kohli after they came in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think-
I agree.
Yeah, I think that was the only one where you really saw the game where India really dominated, right? Before, I think any other partnership, if you saw, there was at least some element where you felt, okay, New
Probably
Zealand
you
is
can say
still in
Rohit
the
and
game.
Gill provided a good start as well.
I have a very sneaky
Yeah.
feeling there's a big Surya Kumar Yadav innings coming around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it
yeah,
could be in a big knockout. I just have a feeling, because he just mentioned Hardik Pandya clutch.
And no
I just have a
better
feeling
place than
a big
Wankhede.
Shubman knock is coming in Ahmedabad.
No better place than
And,
Ahmedabad.
in Ahmedabad on 19th, and a big Surya knock in Mumbai on 15th. So
Yeah.
I think I'll take offense to Teju's previous comment. He said suddenly rankings are overrated when it's an Indian and Parosis start crying because of Bobby Badshah's only achievement being irrelevant.
what
How dare you say that,
Bobby
Teju?
Badshah, the greatest.
How
ever
dare
human
you say
to
that?
put
I
it.
think Babar Azam is going to take offense to that just because of this comment. We are going to see PCB arrange tournaments against Nepal and Zimbabwe, and in no time you're going
Hey,
to see
Nepal
Babar
is a
Azam
good
back
team,
on the
bro.
top.
Something I
Nepal's
found
a
very
good team.
interesting today.
We're talking about Uganda and Somalia to play in Pakistan next year. It's a tough attack, they've got some really good pacers.
No, and it's a good thing, right? That Pakistan is doing this outreach program to African cricketing
What
nations.
are they sponsored by UNICEF or what?
I think they are for different reasons, though. They require a little bit of UNICEF in their country as well in many instances, but that's very political. But yeah, just going back to the law of averages, I think we can also have, it's also a law of average thing. You've had 2 World Cups where you did not win, and then you win the next one. So could
I
work in
just
that way as
don't
well.
know more than this World Cup. I'm just waiting for this Australian team to land on Australia. No, this India, Pakistan team to land on Australian shores in
Oh
December and to play the
yes.
first Test match in Perth. Oh my God!
I think we can
Then
expect another
Imam,
revival of David
Abdullah,
Warner's Test
Aga
career.
Salman, whoever they are, in Perth
Remember the last
with that
series?
Australian. Oh my God!
Remember the last time Australia Pakistan played? David
Exactly. I
Warner was
think
not in
we are going
form.
to see yet another revival
Yeah.
of David Warner's Test career, and
Yes.
also probably Marnus
I think
Labuschagne
he's
will go
gonna
on
say,
to
"I'm
score
not gonna
another
retire." You
200.
see, he knew that he wanted to go on a high. He chose that Test series to
Yeah.
retire.
I think Pakistan, I think Pakistan going
He's
to Australia
confident.
is similar to a Nepal or a Zimbabwe coming to Pakistan.
Yeah.
Trust me, it is. It is. It is. It is very much of that sort. I think we have become very much a Pakistan hate channel over here, no? Or every
Nobody
third
is
line
hating
is a
Pakistan. Nobody is hating on Pakistan.
Oh, we're not. We're just admiring them. Bobby
Yeah.
Batshaw is the greatest
I
athlete.
just scolded Teju for
No.
saying such a
Yeah,
pathetic thing
Teju, what
that
he did
Bobby
is very
No, I
Batshaw.
wrong.
think Teju was being I think Teju was being absolutely wrong. It's a very Indian biased thing. Look at it
Yeah.
from this perspective. It's well paid for BCCI when they do well,
Yeah.
when India does well,
Did
when
you
we
see
do
the
well.
transaction last night which
And
Jesha had made
yeah.
to ICC
But
for
I was, I was
everyone?
I was wondering why did Jesha wait 951 days? I mean, was he collecting the money
I mean,
required? Is it
he
that?
waited for
He
the
was
right
he was
moment,
waiting to
Diwali
offer
bonus,
something to
boys.
ICC more than Pakistan
Diwali bonus
GDP.
doesn't come every year. It only comes
Yeah,
every year. It doesn't come
also
often.
that,
So, Diwali bonus ke liye
also
wait
that.
kiya. Correct time he paid, and
Yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
Pakistan. I mean, you look now Diwali and Pakistan doesn't go well, and Pakistan are playing one day before Diwali. Last year when they played one day before Diwali, you know what happened. So uh, they dread to play on such days. So
Yeah.
it'll look like Pakistan are qualifying. Someone is gonna play. Ben Stokes goes down the ground and out of the ground, and that's it. Virat Kohli's favorite cricketer is Ben Stokes. Just to let you all know.
Yes. Yes.
So
Absolutely.
and his favorite word is also Ben Stokes. So it's all connected, guys. It's all written in the stars. That game, I know
Yeah.
where it is going. But I believe somehow Pakistan managed to get Australia sorted, and 200 Australia will get.
I think that is only possible if Australia declares.
I don't think that's happening. I mean, 200. When was the last time Pakistan got Australia all out for 150 in Australia?
When was
I
the
think there
last
was
time
one.
Pakistan got Australia all out in Australia?
Okay, that's even interesting. I, I think there was one test match which they had come very close in 2016, where Asad Shafiq really played a good knock in a pink ball test
Hmm.
match, pulled it off. Wahab Riaz came and tongued a little bit. Yasir Shah in the next series scored 100 in Adelaide. I remember that. So these were the only times when Australia did in Pakistan did some moments in Australia. I remember they took a 17-year-old Naseem Shah and went to Australia, got injured, battered, bruised. It was just
Yeah, yeah.
horrific.
He had picked
I
up a
even
wicket
remember.
in his first over. If I'm not wrong, he was the one who picked up David Warner. Then it was a no ball, and from there
Yeah.
on, I think Indians will also remember. When you get David Warner out on a no ball, he loves going after you. I think Varun Aaron probably
Varun Aaron
It was
will-
Varun Aaron or
yeah.
Vinay Kumar? Was it Vinay Kumar in
Varun
No, Varun
2011?
Aaron. Varun Aaron.
Varun Aaron, yeah.
Varun
It was
Aaron.
come on from Varun Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in
So-
2011 as well, in a Perth test match, Vinay Kumar was bowled to Warner, and there was some incident, and then David Warner scored a 180 against. That was a shit tour for India altogether.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then, but
India
Pakistan
never
had
had a
got
good-
tour washed.
India never had a
They
good
should-
Australia tour till 2013.
Pakistan should at least draw a test match. I think there'll be a draw test match if there's a 3-day washout. So obviously that's a big achievement. They'll be again playing for Kudrat Ka Nizam and rain and all that. So that's their only way.
But
of
that is the
life.
thing of the future. I think more interesting is going to be Pakistan's game against England in the near future, and also I think
Tomorrow's game is the most interesting game.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in Bangalore, Teju is in Bangalore. I hope Teju give us a weather update. What's the weather like in Bangalore, Teju? If you're listening to us right now, what's the weather like? Is it like raining, or can we expect any showers throughout the night? If Teju is gonna give us an update, we can go ahead. But I was hurt as an
But then again,
RCB
I
fan
think the
what
toss is
happened
going to
today.
play an important factor. If it's going to be a rain-affected game, I think the toss is going to play a big factor.
Yeah.
Because we have seen that Sri Lanka did not really struggle in the game against England when they when they opted to chase and they restricted England to a small total. And I think the two
Yeah.
games that Sri Lanka have won have both come when they were chasing 240 or 260 odd runs against Netherlands and 156 against England. So I think if somehow Sri Lanka can win the toss and put New Zealand to bat first, and also New Zealand have gone on to score 400 and lost in the last game, so that will be playing
correct.
them as well. So things
What do
can
you
get
think New Zealand will prefer doing? I think New Zealand will prefer chasing on that wicket, right?
Absolutely, and I think it gives you two advantages. One, obviously, the DLS method does favor players who, I
Yeah.
mean, teams that chase. One, and secondly, Bangalore itself prefers. I mean, gives. I mean, is favorable to chase because the boundaries are smaller. You know, you
Exactly.
don't want to, and I think New Zealand would want to forget what Fakhar Zaman did to them. I think both these conditions came together: the smaller boundaries and DLS to upset New
Yeah.
Zealand. I
And you
not
also have a Fakhar
technically,
Zaman sort of a player in Sri Lanka as well. I think Kushal Mendes is that sort of a player who will
Yeah.
either play 10, 15 balls and get out, or if
yeah,
he stays
yeah,
in the
yeah.
crease for 35, 40 balls, I think
Yeah.
he can cause equal chaos
No, I
and
think
I think Sri
chaos.
Sri Lanka
Lanka
is
as
full
well.
of players like
The
that, right?
last knock is
Kushal
going to give them a lot
Pereira,
of confidence.
I think Pathum Nisanka, Kushal
But
Mendes,
Kushal
all
Pereira
these
was
batters are
dropped
like
in the
that.
last game and you had a Karuna Ratne come in. So conservative approach from Sri Lanka. It's going to be interesting to see who plays tomorrow.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, tomorrow we have a preview on that, so we'll be joining you
Yeah.
after the toss to see how the conditions are like in Bangalore, whether we're gonna have a game or not. A lot of things have the question mark right now, but next 3 days is very important. Are very important rather. If you look at tomorrow's game, then the game after that, that is on 9th rather. Not 9th. I mean, I'm talking about 9th
11.
and 10th. I think 10th is when South Africa plays Afghanistan. So that's also very
Yeah.
important game in context of the World Cup. That also depends on that's contingent to the fact that tomorrow New Zealand loses. But after that, there's Pakistan England. That is also contingent to the fact that New Zealand loses, or else a lot of things will have to hope on them
I mean,
as well.
loses is a hard term. You can say if New Zealand does not win.
Yeah, either way. Either way.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
rain
that's
can
about
come in. I mean, I'm still not discounting rain.
yeah, rain will
Absolutely.
come in, but I still think we'll have a game because it's a day and night game. The cutoff time is 10:30, 10:40. It'll clear up because that was a day game. You had a 7 p.m. cutoff time, so that was awkward, very weird. Because the rain did clear later on in the night, right after that, but the cutoff time was
No, I
6 hours
think
off.
Bangalore, it's always, from 5, I think 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock or so, it's always a little cloudy and, there's rain always around. I think at night and maybe in the afternoon, it's not as much. The chances
Yeah,
are very low. That's usually how
I
it
think
is. I
we'll
mean,
have a rain curtail 30 over smash as well. You never know. So it all
possibly, yeah.
comes down to the last, however New
So I
Zealand
think
But I
team
think,
batting second will get the job done. If it's New Zealand, I think New Zealand will
yeah.
win. But if Sri Lanka wins the toss, I won't discount Sri Lanka as well. I
Imagine
think
Sri
they
Lanka
are
getting all out for
present
like
team.
40 or 50 and New Zealand chasing it down in 10 overs. Pakistan will have to then win in
I don't see
49
this
points.
New Zealand team have the same potent of say an Indian team, and I think Sri Lanka are going to bounce back strong tomorrow. If they
Don't
get to
know how
chase, I think
Pakistan
they
are
will
made
chase
so
down
confident they can
240,
beat
250
England.
as well.
Firstly, by tomorrow is that confidence which is skyrocketed will come down. And after that, whatever is going to happen will happen. Even if they are confident of beating England and coming to semi-finals, how confident are they to face us? So a lot of questions still face there. They've already made posters of Babar Azam lifting the World Cup trophy. We'll talk about it later.
Mickey Arthur for presidency
Yeah.
or prime
Online.
minister's role.
Good night,
Online.
guys.
Online prime minister for Mickey Arthur.
Online. Good night, guys.
Good
Good
night,
night,
guys.
good night.